Ukraine's Air Force says it downed 4 missiles and nearly 40 drones launched by Russia overnight. Emergency crews in Kyiv have been putting out fires caused by the attack. Officials in the Ukrainian capital say it is the first missile strike by Russia since August, although there have been near-nightly drone attacks in the city. On Sunday, the government said 145 drones were launched, a record for a single day. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met with NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte in Brussels. He spoke about cementing support for Ukraine ahead of Donald Trump's return as president. Blinken also discussed the entry of North Korean soldiers into combat against Ukraine and said Pyongyang's involvement will receive, quote, a firm response. While the United States says most of the 10,000 North Korean soldiers assisting Russia are already operational in the Kursk region. And on Tuesday, North Korea ratified a landmark defense treaty with Russia. This is the Kursk region inside Russia. Ukraine's forces seized territory inside the Russian border region a few months ago. It was the first invasion of Russian territory since the Second World War. Let's speak to Domitilla Sagramoso about this. She's a senior lecturer at the Department of War Studies at King's College London and is joining us from London. Thank you so much for being with us. So we have this landmark defense treaty that was announced between North Korea and Russia. We also have South Korean intelligence reports stating that North Korean troops are already engaged in the Kursk region. How concerned do you think should Ukraine's Western supporters be about this increased cooperation between Russia and North Korea?
I think we should be very concerned because we have, for the first time, North Korean Asian troops in the European continent fighting against a strong European ally, which is Ukraine. It's a country which is a strategic partner of Europe and of the NATO alliance, and also it is a potential member of the European Union, a candidate country which is already engaged in talks, very substantial talks with the European Union on membership. So this is very concerning. Ukraine is a strategic country because of its geographical location. And also, as we know, has been fighting a massive war against Russia. So I think this is an issue of great concern, also because of what the implications of this bilateral cooperation between North Korea and Russia means in terms of also of what the Russians are providing to the North Koreans.
What will the fresh reinforcements mean for Russia? Could these North Korean troops have an impact on the outcome of the war, you think?
I don't think we should give them such a sort of relevant importance at operational level. We are talking about 10,000 troops. It's an important number, but it's not a significant number. I mean, there are reports that Russia is losing sometimes about 1,000 troops a day. So this is not a massive number, but it is significant, and it helps Russia to divert forces to other areas, especially to the Donbass. So it does help Russia not having to mobilize additional forces to send to the area of Kursk, where apparently these troops are fighting. But I think we must wait and see how effective these troops are on the ground.
Right.
The reports that are coming from the events in Kursk are not very positive for the Russians. They've tried over the last few days to advance, and they haven't been very successful. There are reports also of challenges about integrating these forces into the Russian structures, issues of language training, proper equipment. So, I mean, these forces do not have any experience of having fought previously. So there are a lot of issues that we really must sort of wait and see, but there is a very strong symbolic value which needs to be taken into consideration.
And so what's Russia traded, Domitilla, in exchange for these North Korean soldiers?
I think what Russia is probably providing the North Koreans is technological support for the development of the missile technologies and the missile systems, and also apparently satellite technology, spy satellite technology, and Russia is helping North Korea bypass the arms embargo, which had been imposed by the United Nations, and Russia had been a part of that process before. So I think that is very important because now North Korea has an additional lifeline.
Right.
But North Korea has been very important in terms of the provision of ammunition, artillery, and also missiles to Russia in its war in Ukraine. So there is it's a very interesting and concerning partnership, because also there is a risk that might destabilize the situation in the Korean Peninsula, with South Korea now becoming very concerned that North Korea develops much more effective missile technologies, which according
Let me ask you briefly, Domitilla, because we're running out of time, and I really want to get this one in if I can. We've heard Blinken say that North Korea's involvement will get a firm response. But realistically, what can the U.S. do today, especially with a new administration coming in, the Trump administration, which hasn't been favorable to providing more support to Ukraine?
Yes, I think that the big question is whether, Ukraine is going to be allowed to use long-range missiles further inside Russian territory and attack more effectively the forces that are located along the borders of Ukraine. So maybe that is something that potentially could be discussed, whether finally the United States give the okay to the use of long-range missiles inside Russia to target, for example, airfields and aircraft that might be still on the ground.
Okay.
And I think that could be an interesting development. But I think that because we are already in the last months and then weeks of the administration, I think that we now need to see what is going to be done by the Trump administration in that respect.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Domitilla Sagramoso, Senior Lecturer at King's College London. Thank you for your time.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.